Hi guys, welcome to the Man United Agenda. Yes, it's joined by Mr. B, myself, and Eddie, Football Waffle. We're going to have a special cameo from CALLULA. She's on her way. So are we to the FA Cup final and the League Cup final. Let's see what happens next. All right, guys, welcome to the Man United Agenda. We do, minutes after the game, we're here to talk about Man United versus Reading. We're through to the next round, 3-1 win. Myself and Mr. B done the watch along, so not much to talk about between us. We want to know what's going on with Eddie. Eddie, you just watched the game. Just a quick summary. Are you happy with the performance?
I'm happy that the team is still trying to play Ten Hag football, because we saw from the kickoff, Man United just pressed straight away. That's what we want to see. And I thought it was going to be like a kind of a 4-2-3-1, but we saw the 2 8s go forward with Bruno and Eriksen. So it's good that they're trying, the Ten Hag football. It's just that they've got to move the ball a bit faster. That's what I think has got to happen. Reading were doing well to keep us out for a long time. I mean, we had to wait till second half to get through. But, as soon as we got the goals, we started playing. We started out fun. Yeah, and the ball was moving faster as well. It's like these players need a bit of confidence, So, but it would be nice to see some of that faster passing before the first goal. But overall, I would say I would have liked to have seen like some more younger players or the reserve players from the start, because I'm worried about the team burning out. I mean, maybe I'm going too far in my analysis right now, but yeah, good result.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, CALLULA, just heard from Eddie. Eddie saying he's quite pleased with the performance. He said that they're pressing from the start, Man United. Just going to quickly go through the team. It's De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Malacia. That's slightly different. That was the only rotation we really got. What do you think about this, CALLULA? Because in midfield, we had Casemiro, Eriksen, Anthony Bruno, Rashford, and Weghorst. Do you think it's a Premiership game? What's going on there?
Yeah, I think for me, it shows that he wants silverware, for one. So that's what it did show. But I was a bit worried because of tiredness. I do think that we shouldn't have. I do understand the fear, because with the Cheltenham game, that first team should have done it, and they didn't. And then he had to bring the guys on. So I think for him, he probably would have wanted more from the first half, and then he could have started switching. But because we didn't get the goals in the first half, I felt like he had to leave it longer and longer and longer and longer. So he wanted the cement. That's what he wanted. He wanted to be able to say, okay, 2 goals in, we're there. You guys now come off, and then I can play the younglings. But he doesn't feel confident to play the younglings from the start because of previous performances, and he needed the cement.
I mean, it's a masterclass. Who are we to question the Grand Master Ten Hag? Yeah. But we do. I mean, as a fan base, we do have to question him sometimes about his decision making. All about concern about rotation and players getting injured. I mean, look at the back four today with Lindelof, Maguire. I mean, they came back in, and obviously Malacia as well. Mr. B, I mean, can we question the manager? Are we qualified to question the manager? And is it granted based on we want players don't want players to get burnt out? Because a lot of people are saying that.
Look, he's made it perfectly clear that if you're not in the position to strike, you can't strike. I think he's doing everything in his power to make sure that we are in the positions to be able to claim some sort of silverware. Yeah, I do believe he could have played a slightly weaker team, a slightly weaker starting 11, but I'm not going to question him, because come the end of the season, if we get to the final, look, we're talking about burnout. What if they don't get burnt out? What is burnt out? You know what I mean? If you've got a carrot dangling in front of you, you don't feel the tiredness, and maybe that's the part of it. That's maybe where these players ain't won nothing in 5 years. Nothing in 5 years, but at the moment, the process that he's giving them, yeah, they probably don't want to play every week. But
I hear an argument coming on. Eddie wants to jump in. I can see him I want some of that. Disagree with Mr. B, do you?
No, I was just going to put the fact that the team did show some burnout. I don't know if you guys remember back to when we went and played Villa away from home in the league. And it's like we saw that team that came out. Yeah, I mean, it was like similar to what was going on now, like one game every 3 days. and we saw they didn't play well for like the 90 minutes in that game. We could, I'm sure you guys can agree. We didn't rotate enough, and we lost 3-1. So I'm worried. I'm worried about that happening again. So I'm thinking we could have played some more youth today because Reading weren't good at all today.
All right, here's the question. You say, go on, Mr. B, because I want to argue.
No, I'm just thinking about the game. So I'm looking at a week's rest. This is how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
A week between now and our next Premier League game. The Forest game, a lot of these players don't play. We're already 3-0 up. I would be very surprised if he goes in with the strength, like a really, really strong team. Maybe Maguire, maybe Maguire and Martinez, and they switch it up for the second half or whatever. But I think that one is going to be with a full road. Start with the younger kid, but the full rotation comes in so that they're all fresh for the league game. Because if you had rested them today, then he plays them for the Forest game. There's no gap, there's no rest, there's no benefit for us as a club. So that's what I think.
Miko's saying here, most managers don't rotate heavy unless they have a dominant side, and we're not at that point yet. That's a good point. And another thing here from Ben saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it in a way. So I think what we're saying here is the issue is about fatigue and that kind of thing. Just you two, CALLULA and Eddie, do you want to put it to you? Do you think like Erik ten Hag, he's new to England, he's new to the Premier League, he's new to the Championship and all these leagues. Do you think he doesn't want to underestimate teams like Reading or Cheltenham, as CALLULA calls them, who's actually Charlton FCs?
Yeah, I know.
All the time, I don't know. But do you think Ten Hag can gauge how good these teams are? Do you think it's a case of being physically, because when we went away on our mid-season break, he played youngsters, and physically against these Spanish teams, they got moved up. So do you think there's a bit of air of caution there, both of you? What do you think?
I think so. I'm just remembering back to the start of the season where it was just like, we had PTSD from last season where the team was losing 4-0 to Brentford, 2-1 at home on the first day. Maybe that's still in his mind where it's like he's thinking, okay, I've just got to just get as much as I can out of the first team, and I don't want to suffer any of these upsets. I think that is still on his mind because he's a good coach. So I would have expected some more, reserve players to be playing and a few more of the games. But, when you take losses like that, that's going to be on your mind. So I kind of do understand why he's still playing some of the strong team, despite the quick turnaround of the games.
I don't agree. I don't think it's anything to do with him and his analysing. He's got better analytics than anyone I can see with these from the first game, his little notebook. I don't think the Brentford game really damaged him. I think it was really his faith in the team. And I actually think that's what it is. I don't think it's that it's Reading. I don't think it's that it's Chelsea or if whatever team we're going against. It's the fact of we see it and we saw it in this game. When the younglings come on, they give the ball away too much and he wants to win. So I don't think it's his mentality that's the problem. It's the faith in the players, with the players showing their performance. That's the difference. I don't think it's anything to do with him. It's what the players are showing. And we can see through this season, whoever shows gets. It doesn't matter if you're youngling, doesn't matter if you're a veteran, whoever shows gets. So I think he's just looking at.
Yeah, a couple comments here. Emma K is saying we have to learn to play through burnout, though. Any form of burnout. This is the thing she's saying. And FC United forever saying in lower leagues, most teams play 2 times a week, 46 games in the season, don't they? For the whole season. And a lot of lower league teams are way more physical. So there's a question about Zoe again saying, Matthew, I'm sure we're talking today. There's a debate in the comments about we need more Brazilians because our Brazilians scored goals today. They're already plotting to get Vincent Jr. and guys like that. But that's another day. That's for another show. All right, let's talk about this performance today. Obviously, we're playing Reading. I know we had a little summary from Eddie starting out. But, Mr. B, I'm going to start with you. Mr. Performance-wise, I mean, CALLULA just said there, it's all about the win for Ten Hag. But what do you feel? Do you think performance, you done like going back to Friday night, guys, if you haven't checked this out, on Friday night, Mr. B done a show with CALLULA as well about mid-season review and judging players and that kind of thing. But I want you to judge the performance. Are you seeing a progression here? I've heard you say in the watch along that maybe a few years ago we wouldn't be breaking teams down. What are you seeing? Are you seeing enough development so far?
Yeah, definitely. When you see Wan-Bissaka tackling man in the center of the park and doing 1-2s and getting into the box, then he's being coached because Wan-Bissaka doesn't have that. I don't care what anybody says to me. That's not in his makeup. That's not in his armory. Yeah. Malacia is new, so we don't know if he's been able to do that. I'm looking, playing centre back against Haaland. Come Come on. So right now, our coach is doing bits with those players, and the longer he's there, the more we're going to see, and the more those players are going to grow as players. Because guess what? Wan-Bissaka was pigeonholed as a whatless right back by me.
Yeah, but I was about to say that by you.
Yeah, by me. I hold up my hands.
And these two, did you guys?
Yeah, trash. Absolute trash. The last game, I thought he was half decent. I thought he was pretty. But today, he's positioning, he's overlapping, his decision making. He's doing body swerves on man, waiting and then passing the ball off slowly. He's not doing it and running up the wing and trying to cross. So these players are being educated, and I'm loving every minute of it, to be fair.
You know what? Yeah, I think there's been some psychological work on Wan-Bissaka too, because like the way he's showing his confidence on the ball as well. I mean, there was a moment in the second half where like he was at like a right wing position and he did like a drag back in the box. Remember before we got the corner for Fred's goal? It's like there's certain things he's doing that we've just not seen before. So I don't know. Maybe he's been seeing the therapist as well. Maybe that's maybe giving him some confidence to work out some demons from last season. Because he's a new player. I wrote him off as well. I was one of his biggest supporters under Oli, but when we had the transition of the system, I thought he was done for. But Ten Hag, the general, brought him through.
Certainly. CALLULA, do you agree with that? We're talking about performance here. I mean, obviously, we felt we were going to win against Reading. I know one of your scorelines, you said 3-0 or 4-0 before the game. But now that, in hindsight, that we've seen the game, we've seen how we performed. I mean, are you seeing promising things going forward about, for example, how do you break down a low block?
Well, the first half was we should have got we did well the goal, but I'm not going to go into it. But like with the first half,
no, CALLULA, you mentioned the goal.
Okay, I was very annoyed with what the phase of play with that goal. Watching that over and over and seeing, yes, he was what was offside at the one point, and then when the ball gets played in, I always feel like, when does it start again? When does the run up to the goal start? Like, I know back in the day that would have been a goal. I know it would have. But then looking at it, I was like, looking at the rules now, it's not a goal. But I just feel like sometimes where do you pinpoint it? I was gutted for Rashford because I was there cheering for his 10th goal. And I was like, as soon as I saw them checking it, and then as soon as I saw where the point that they picked, I was just gutted. So I was gutted, but it didn't. What was good that they didn't stop being motivated. I like the performance, the physical performance. Some people are really improving. Some people aren't improving. Like Anthony really was disappointing today. I'm not gonna lie. And he really
was bad.
Yeah, he had some good moments.
No, but I don't know. But he's not. I wanted more. When we signed him, I wanted more, and he hasn't reached that more yet. And I feel like if he's not, we were against Reading, but I'm going to give a shout out to Readings because all through the first half, Holmes. Like this guy was like the whole to Reading team. Every time the ball was, it's Holmes again, you know. And they did really well. Second half when we came in, you can see that the discussion was to kind of open them out, and that was the brilliant thing. I'm not saying that we're not improving because we really are mentally. Definitely, I feel like mentally we're really there with the team because we're not giving up. Which after the first half of kicking that ball that many times, you could see a team coming out in the second half being a bit like down in the dumps. So yeah, as I say, with a lot of the young ones, you can see that Ten Hag's got them at the right point because they're young. They will improve under him, and some of the magician stuff he's done with some of the players, definitely improvement. I just feel like we need to. It sounds bad, but because it was Reading, you kind of feel like it should have been a smash.
Yeah. I was thinking that the team would like rip up Reading in the first half. You know, it was a frustrating watch. I remember before the Rashford disallowed goal, there was like a shot of Sir Alex Ferguson in the crowd. He was nodding off, wasn't he?
He looked like he was sleeping. He did, didn't he?
He did.
Do you know what? Because we haven't got sound. I wanted somebody in the chat to say, but he did look like he was bucket, but he's a Dan because he's got that low hat.
Yeah.
So you can't even tell unless he does this.
He looked like he was sleeping.
You're not going to know.
Guy, let me give you something to chew on quickly. So Emma's saying here, Rashford's goal, CALLULA alluded to it, was a proper header too. Shit refereeing again. And also Zoe Media said how to say it, because we don't know the rules here. I don't. Saying even though it was offside, did you hear the comments made by the commentator when Rashford scored? Said best striker in the league. But was that offside? I mean, I don't understand it quite. Can we just briefly? Anyone know? Anyone can add to it on the panel?
No way.
Because it came off the defender, and it wasn't. I don't know. I really need to learn the rules of this game. But anyway, can we talk about the goals, please? I want to get excited now. 17 in the chat. Make sure you press the like button. And don't forget, we're sponsored by GMS. They assist architects, property developers, and construction companies all over the country. And they do things like topographical surveys and 3D laser scanning. Check out the link. It'll be in the description, guys. But yeah, let's talk about the first goal. Who scored the first goal? It was none other than a Brazilian, wasn't it? Do you want me to go through it, or who scored first? Was it Casemiro?
Yeah.
Was it the little dink?
Casemiro.
Was it the little dink where he played on the third man run, and he played him in, and he made a break from midfield, blindsided the guy, and got in on goal and dinked the keeper like Andy Cole or Ian Wright? Was it that goal we're talking about? Take it away, Eddie.
That goal. I mean, how many attacking traits is Casemiro going to have as a holding midfielder? I know he was really setting the world alight at Real Madrid. We know he's capable of attacking, but for him to still be doing it now, I mean, he's got older. He's not a spring chicken. He's still doing it. He's still able to make those runs forward, have all the energy, get back and defend. So, I mean, that composure for the chip. I mean, maybe if we don't get a striker in the summer, maybe we can see the Casemiro. I don't know. That kind of finish, it was too calm for a holding midfielder. It was awesome. And I just got to say, the build up to the goal, I'm hoping we can do this more because, we're seeing these kind of shadow runs where Bruno was making a run in behind to take people out of position. Like you said earlier. I don't think we were doing enough of that in the first half. So to see people making runs and then people rotating, and then the through ball from Anthony. Anthony getting a goal assist. I mean, a goal involvement. So that was promising. It was a good goal.
Mr. B, you were going off on that goal. I mean, what is it about the finish? Is it about the move?
It's the finish, man.
What do you like about it?
No, it's the finish, man. It was the right choice. You know, he could have gone left, right, or tried to smash it, but he made the right choice at that time. He didn't try and chip it. He just made sure that he toe poked it and it went above the goalie. It wasn't a pretty goal. It wasn't, but he made sure that ball was going above the goalie. It's his brain, man. It was the run as well. You know, I love everything about his cheeks and that little hair, that little part that he's got. I'm telling you, man, this guy.
You know what, Eddie? He's going to put you out of business, man. I know when you're out, girls must be like, your lovely top.
So I'm saying, look at Eddie.
Out of business, no doubt. No, I see you with the dimples. I know that's your game. CALLULA, I mean, you want to lead us on to the second goal? Because obviously that was a lovely goal. But obviously, Casemiro again, a brace. Wow. Yeah,
the second goal for me, I had to look twice because of the position that he was in. I looked and I thought, wait a minute, didn't you just score a minute ago? I thought, it's his presence. That's what I love about Casemiro the most. No matter where he is on the pitch, he makes his presence known and he doesn't get bullied. If he wants to stand there, he stands there. Like with the first goal, when he went in, no one was going to get him away from the goal. And it was the thought process. You can tell that not only has he got the presence physically, he's got the presence mentally. That's why I like back what Mr. B said. He thinks about it. It's kind of like he's kind of like the Terminator for me, because it's kind of like he got the ball, he analysed the goal and went, goal. That's literally what it was like. Go right into the goal. And I think that it's good for him to be older because he's going to be such an inspiration for the younger players as well. For him, like what he's doing, because he's here, there, and everywhere. I think a lot of people, even though he's scored twice, if he needs to be back where he's positioning, he's back. Like he gets back, he still does his job and he's scoring goals. So I am with Eddie, maybe if we can't get someone, you might as well just give him 2 wages instead.
You know what? CALLULA's alluded there to the second goal, and it was a good goal. But I just want to know from you two, Mr. B and Eddie, which goal was better? I mean, obviously, Matthew Bassett saying Casemiro. Just to clarify here, Miko saying based on the law, it shouldn't have been offside for the fact the defender played the ball and Weghorst came in the second phase of play. But anyway, we come back. That's another show that I think we could tackle. But yeah, let's talk about the second goal. Was it as good as the first goal? And I mean, come on. Can we stop talking about Casemiro? No, we can't.
No.
Take it away, guys. Take it
I'm
away.
still, I'm still gonna take the first one.
Yeah.
The second one, I've said when I watched it, I was more surprised. Oh, it's gone in because it seemed like the technique wasn't hard enough to have taken it from the goalie. Well done again from outside the box, 20-yard curler. You can't argue with that. I'm taking either one of them, and even on FIFA, I'm happy with either one of those goals. But I think for me, the first one, just the whole move of the
first one for me, it was cleaner. Because like the second goal, I was so disappointed to see that there was a slight defect.
Yeah,
I was a little bit disappointing. But you can't take away from Casemiro's vision the idea to try the shot. You know, it's all about intent. So it still went in. It still is goal. But yeah, the first one because like no deflection. You know, so for me that's the one. That's the one for me. It's calm as well. It's like he could have just hit it. Like a lot of other players would have just hit it. Yeah. But this guy had the mindset and just nanoseconds.
How much backlift did he have? I mean, it's hardly any. He's just got it out his feet and just going in. Just want to say hi to Football Power Hour. He was on with Mr. B and CALLULA last night. And go check him out and go and subscribe to his channel as well. He's doing good things, you know. Also, I want to say hi to Mark Edmund all the way from Australia. And he says, I'm going to have a daughter, so Casemiro can marry her. Big up to you guys. Anyway, let's talk about the third goal because Fred comes off the pitch. Obviously, it's been subs going. We're going to wind it down to 23 in the chat. Make sure you press the like button. CALLULA, you're the goal explainer. Explain how we scored the third goal. It was a corner, wasn't it?
You mean you want about Fred?
Fred.
I was literally staring at Mr. B when I saw that going. Like for me, it was just I don't actually think. Trying to remember it, I don't think the corner was that strong. I didn't suspect the goal was going to come. Does that make sense?
What corner?
But it came. It was a sub corner. It came into the box, and we kind of like. I'm trying to think now because I was just in awe of it because I've kept watching the replay of just that back heel. So I am really sorry it was that back heel, and I was thinking he was just like a smooth criminal. He's like pulling out some Michael Jackson stuff. That's like I was literally like, what? That's why I was just so mystified. I was like, who's that? No, and it's like just like back heel. Like that, so yeah. For me, I sound sorry. All I can see is that mystifying, and you can see. And I don't know if anyone saw his face, how happy he was on his face. Like, yeah,
he's got the biggest smile
he's like got this massive smile, thinking, "Yeah, haters, pass the friend." But yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And he knew it was going in. It wasn't like he just because some people do the back heel, and it's like there's lack of confidence, and they just like. I think it was you see certain people when they try and do the back heel and they try to do like the scissors kick and they don't, God loves a tryer. No, he knew. He knew that the ball was going in. He absolutely knew.
I think Weghorst had a similar chance to do that little trick in the first half, but it's just that unfortunate. Eddie, what do you think of the last goal? I mean, I think it was a short corner, wasn't it? If we can go back a few phases.
I think we've got to try that a bit more as well. Like as one of the big teams, we got to try more of that initiative to catch teams out. It was a great bit of play, and Fred's putting some more respect on his name because I've been so fed up with people saying, "Oh, does this guy have a Brazilian passport?" He's showing tonight with that flick, the samba skills to do that back flick. The guy is Brazilian; he's got it in him, you know. So yeah, that was a fantastic goal. And I was just thinking of Errol because we know that Fred is his man. I was just imagining Errol was just celebrating so much to the point where he'd be on the brink of
there he is.
Right on cue.
It was great. It was a great
goal. Don't lie. Is he really here on cue?
There he is.
This guy, right, can you believe?
So we've got comments here saying Fred the Red says Ben Alcott. I want to say hi to Silver Fox. He's an Arsenal fan, part of the sister channel, Yarmouth TV. Go and subscribe to them. He said the first goal wasn't easy, very classy finish. Fred was nice though too. He enjoyed that. So yeah, big up to Armory TV, Arsenal channel. Obviously, Solo's in the house. He's saying subscribe. There's 24 in the chat. Press the like button. Do it now. Do it now, guys.
And hit the like, guys.
Yasin is back. He's saying big up everyone. Smash the like and support the channel. We support all channels here. We love you guys. No doubt about it. We got to wind up very soon, guys. So we just got to go for man of the match. And Zoe said, do you think we can at least win the FA Cup? So man of the match, and are we winning the FA Cup for you guys, please? Wan-Bissaka looked good. because Casemiro plays in the pivot instead of Fred as he wins the ball and fewer touches. So that's a good analysis there from Bart. And lastly, before we go into the man of the match, I want to say hi to MES Realist, just Mick. He said, I am crying. Brazilian galore. 3 goals scored by who? My man of the match. And there we go. Anthony Jogger Benito. Man of the match and performance, please, guys. Man of the match, and can we win the FA Cup? Sorry. Let's go. Man of the match. I'm going to start with you, Mr. B, because I think I know what you're going to say.
No, man of the match is Casemiro. Can we win the FA Cup? Yes, but I don't want us to.
Okay. Eddie, we're going to wind up. Let's be punchy, because I say punchy for a reason. Let's wind it up. Come on out the yard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm agreeing with Mr. B. It's got to be Casemiro because we also got the clean sheet as well. So Casemiro was doing his defensive work and getting forward, got the 2 goals, very influential. In terms of winning the cup, because I was making the point of I don't want the first team to burn out, we've got the Carabao Cup. I mean, there shouldn't have even been any expectations for Ten Hag to win a cup. It should have been just about, getting us to play football again after that last season. So for me, if we can win it, that'd be great. But I prefer just to focus on Carabao and getting the top 4 for this season.
Zoe Media House is saying Veghorst man in the match. And I know Anthony, there was a bit of argument about Anthony's performance. Tyrone was saying Anthony played well. Others saying no. And also, it was good to see our routine 3 goals, but defensively, without Varane and Martinez, we could get caught out. So, man of the match, Callula, over to you. And are we winning the FA Cup as well?
Okay, man of the match, Casemiro for me. Absolutely brilliant, not just because of the goals, but because he's positioning on the pitch and just going all the way there solo. I know it was a brilliant goal, but I can't do it. I'd love to because it was class, but I can't do it. But no, that's man of the match all the way. But as I say, it was his whole performance, not just the goals, but the goals were amazing, and especially the second goal as well. Can we win the FA Cup? Yes, I think we can, even though we've got to remember that there's some trickier teams in it. I think we're better off going for the EFL Carabao Cup.
Okay, there you go. So, Wan-Bissaka, the man of that, says Yassin. K. Mbappe is saying Casemiro. Silver Fox is saying Casemiro as well. Harry Maguire, man of the match. I know there's no laughing emoji there. You serious, Pat? You just trying to tweet me out, right? Pat booked his ticket to come over for the cup final, even though we're not there yet. And he probably think he's trying to sweep me up. So I can take him out for pineapple punch in Caribbean again, Caribbean restaurant. Casemiro man of the match. Anthony win with a shout as well. And Veghorst, said Mark Edmonds. Guys, did you enjoy the show? Did you enjoy the match? What are you guys doing for the rest of the weekend? I know what I'm doing. We're going to watch more sports and watch the boxing fight now. We just won by unanimous decision against Reading. And hopefully we have a big upset today in the box.
Yeah, sorry, Monday. Did you say your man of the match though? I don't think you said yours, did you?
Oh, you want me to say man of the match as well?
Yes,
please.
Quick.
All right, my man of the match today.
Maguire.
I'm going Wan-Bissaka.
Okay. That's fair.
You sweet me. You mentioned the little trick in the box. I mentioned the drop of the shoulder.
The shoulder,
Camera. Yeah, that was really sweet. The defender went that way. And Wan-Bissaka ended up coming inside. And Wan-Bissaka's such a poker face as well. You know he's enjoying it inside.
Yeah.
You can just tell by the sparkle in his eyes. He's enjoying it because he won't smile, won't do anything. He's not like Malacia. Look at the opposite. Malacia one side's got teeth. Wan-Bissaka's just cool. So yeah, great performance today. We're through to the next round. Eddie, do you want to give a shout out to your channel? Because if you're not subscribed to Eddie's channel, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, thanks again for having me on. I've not been on in quite a bit of time, so I appreciate the hospitality. But yeah, first of all, obviously everyone's got to hit the like for the Man United agenda. You get everyone involved. It's just great.
On the premise, outreach. On the premise, we should hit the like on the premise. What? On
the premise of it being a good video. Yeah. But you can find me at Eddie's Football Waffle on YouTube. I do like reaction videos, stuff like that. So, yeah, thanks again for having me on.
Okay, guys, make sure you subscribe. Do it now. Eddie Football Waffle, 25 in the chat. Have a lovely rest of the weekend. It's been glorious so far. We've had 2 wins in the space of 2 games. So we're doing all right. And it's onwards now to the semi-final, the League Cup, EFL. Do you call it EFL Cup, Callula?
Yeah, EFL or Carabao Cup. Depends.
Mr. B didn't correct you and say it was a Coca-Cola Cup, no?
That's time ago. That is.
Oh, okay,
That's
right.
time.
But anyway, we're going to sign out. Thanks everyone in the comments. All of you guys from all over the world, Australia to Canada, wherever you are, all in the UK. We appreciate you and thank you so much. And we're going to sign out. Big up Eddie, Callula, and Mr. B, and we're gone. Bye bye.